part of Tampa's Black history is a big step closer to being saved, and maybe just in time.
Yeah, the Jackson House in downtown Tampa took a major step toward preservation this week. 10 Tampa Bay's Eric Glasser explains how all of this has to do with a land swap deal between Tampa and one of the city's biggest private property owners.
Well, the Jackson House here in downtown Tampa looks like it's on its last legs. But the historic boarding house built at the turn of the century may finally have some new life breathed into it, all thanks to an important agreement reached between the city of Tampa and 717 Parking, which owns the property behind it. For years, the Jackson House has been falling into disrepair, but preservationists have been working hard to save the 24-room boarding house, which had been visited by African-American travelers during segregation. Folks like Martin Luther King Jr., James Brown, Cab Calloway, Ella Fitzgerald. But over the past 2 years, hopes of renovating the house and turning it into an African-American museum had been stalled because part of the adjacent property, owned by 717 Parking, is needed for that to move forward. Now, it looks like the city of Tampa has agreed to a land swap with 717, offering it a parcel at the corner of Nebraska Avenue and Twig Street in exchange.
It's very important that we maintain our history for generations to come, and the Jackson House is an example of that. So these issues often take much longer than I would like them to take, but at least we're seeing progress.
Over the past few years, we've seen the University of South Florida come in and map the inside of the house. Tampa Bay Lightning owner Jeff Vinik and his wife also donated $1 million to help preserve the historic building. And just 2 months ago, the Jackson House received a historical marker out front. The owners of 717 have called this a win-win solution. It still needs approval from Tampa City Council and was slated to appear on the agenda at their next meeting, but that was pulled at the last minute, we're told, to work out some final details when it comes to a title issue. Still, those details are expected to be ironed out, offering the Jackson House its best chance yet at being preserved. In Tampa, Eric Glasser, 10 Tampa Bay.
If that restoration takes place, the plan is to turn the Jackson House into a Black History Museum.
The Jackson House Foundation, which owns the property, has raised more than $2 million to work toward making that happen.